In this example, we'd like to factor the quadratic expression x squared minus 14x plus 48. Now remember, to factor our quadratics, what we're doing is we're looking for two numbers that are going to add to our middle term and that will multiply together to give us our constant term. So in other words, we're trying to find p and q so that p and q, when we add them together, equals negative 14, and when we multiply them together, gives us a value of 48. Now personally, I tend to start with the multiplication part because I'm a little bit faster with multiplication than I am with addition. So let's try to find a pair of numbers that when multiplied together gives us 48. So we could try something like 12 times 4. We know that 12 times 4 is 48. However, when we go to add 12 and 4 together, we get 16, which is not negative 14. So we could remedy this by making both of our integers negative, because I know that negative 12 times negative 4 is also equal to positive 48. However, when we add these together, negative 12 minus 4 more gives us negative 16, which again isn't quite equal to negative 14. However, with a little bit of guesswork, you can get to negative 6 times negative 8 is 48, and negative 6 minus 8 is equal to negative 14. So coming back up to our original quadratic expression, that means we can factor this into pairs. The first pair is going to be x minus 6, and the second pair is going to be x minus 8. Now my recommendation is to always double check your factoring to make sure that it makes sense. So we could multiply the first two terms together. X times x should give us our original x squared. The two outside terms and the two inside terms, when multiplied together, should give us negative 8x minus 6x. And that's going to lead us to the negative 14x that is our middle term in the quadratic expression. And then finally, multiplying our two outside terms together, we should get positive 48, exactly the constant from our quadratic expression. Let's continue on with one more example. Here we have x cubed minus 6x squared plus 5x. Now I've chosen this example in particular just to remind you that what you should always be doing when you approach a question is checking to see if there's a common factor. In this case, we can factor out x from all of our terms, and that's going to leave us with x squared minus 6x plus 5. So remember that we're looking for two numbers that add together to give us negative 6, and two numbers that multiply together to give us positive 5. This one's a little bit easier than the last example. 5 only has two factors, 1 and 5. And we need them both to be negative in order to get a sum of negative 6. So here's our fully factored polynomial expression.